This is crazy.
Yes, this is crazy. Nicolas Cage just might be my very first p100 survivor. I love his perks, I don't care how meme-like they are. It's really hard to tell if there's true potential in them just yet, but as of right now, I'm loving this character so much. Not even much of a character, because he's a real person, but you get my point. This dude could play possum almost and pick himself up fully healed. Technically a self-heal with the cost of you going into the dying state. Then he can run and do this leg trick move, which is almost like a throw of a dime. It's a 50-50. It's either you get something good or you get something bad. Good is being a haste status effect, or you might just get an item at random with random add-ons, and the bad being you just get exposed. But I noticed about this perk is that you don't want to use it when you're in chase with the killer, because you just might get exposed. I got a few downs from that. Very easy downs from them technically just using their perk on themselves. I guess maybe you can use it in chase, because that can kind of play into the 50-50 chance aspect, because you do get a 2-second haste, but it's like you just never know with that perk, bro. I'd rather play safe than sorry, but I guess that's the whole point of that perk. He also has another perk that he just screams when he sees the killer, but it reveals the killer's aura for 5 seconds. I really don't see this perk being too helpful. It's literally just a meme. I mean, I guess if you want to see the killer's aura for 5 seconds through walls, knock yourself out, but other than that, I don't really see much use of it. But the prone perk, where you could just literally go into dying state, and that 50-50 chance perk, both those two perks, I just love those perks. I've been waiting for something comical like this in DBD for ages. Don't get me wrong, the game gets comical if you want it to get comical, but he just made it 10 times more comical, and I'm not even complaining about that. Just add Brenda Meeks and we will call it a day. I'm not gonna lie, Sadako still somewhat feels the same, besides the power gauge being obviously noticeable. I mean, of course I'm not gonna notice barely any change in her gameplay. It's not like they added any new mechanics besides Sadako being able to not take any pallet stun while she's manifested. So whenever I play Sadako, I definitely might want to run Enduring and Brutal Strength just to bait the pallet, have them throw it on me while I'm de-manifesting, well, fainting to de-manifest, and then I break the pallet right afterwards. I know every time you teleport, all survivors get cursed now, instead of just survivors within the area of the TV. Also, survivors are holding a tape, and if you happen to run into Sadako and she hits you, that could increase your condemned as well. Now, I'm not like an Unreal main or anything like that, so I really have to give her a lot of time in order to decipher if she's really in the better state right now, which I think she is, but it's too early to tell if she's in a much better state, you know. But for right now, she's just in a better state, at least in my opinion. During my Sadako matches, I was using crew limits, coup de grace, and hex crowd control. The crew limit change is noticeable because after they pop a gen, sometimes, like especially if you're playing a self kill like Sadako, they will panic and try to run for a window if you're nearby. So for that window to be blocked off and you to get a hit, it can help, but I don't know, it's just not a perk I don't see myself using. I just don't find that perk really too appealing at all. Coup de grace, however, I do want to use that perk on Pinhead. I feel like that would be a good perk to use on Pinhead, because you know now you get 2 tokens every time a gen is completed, up to a max of 5 tokens, so you have more tokens in order to do more longer lunges, you know, which I think is cool. I see it ending chases pretty quickly if the killer's on top of it, especially if it's a killer that could slow you down like Pinhead. Definitely a perk I'm spamming on him. I'm not gonna lie, I thought you could stack up to 10 tokens until I read and saw that you can only stack up to 5, but 5 is still good, I guess. It's not like if someone was gonna save up all 10 tokens anyways, but you just never know. Hex crowd control holds the window for much longer, so that might make a difference during chase, or maybe if you chasing multiple survivors. Maybe there's a scenario if there's 2 survivors at a gen and then you surprise one survivor, hit that survivor votes a window, blocks that window. Now they left the other survivor vulnerable to not using that tile, and then they have to move on to a different tile because they can't use that window because of hex crowd control. So that's definitely a noticeable change. When I was playing my game with Sadako, I did run into a survivor bot, which was the Fang Bot, and to be honest, she actually played like a real online player. She didn't really throw down any pallets on an instant. I know most casuals will do that. They will just, as soon as they see a pallet and they see that you're close enough and they don't want to really try to attempt to even greet it, and maybe they could even get a second chain on the loop and then throw down the pallet. But the online bot, from what I've seen so far, wasn't all that bad. Juked me at first, then I had the corner at the shack where she was just literally greeting that pallet and literally didn't throw it down. I mostly kept chasing her because I was just trying to see how the bot works in the online server, or just how they made the bots in general, but I'm glad they added it. I know hook grabs are pretty much dead and you can't hug grab no more. I don't know how that's gonna play into effect on live servers, because you know in PTB mode everyone's pretty much chill, they want to have fun, they're not really taking anything seriously because there's no reward for it. But when it hits live servers, I think people are really gonna start complaining more than they are now, which is a 50-50, I say, because I understand if you're camping and if you hook grab someone in endgame, that's different. If you hook grab someone at the endgame, there's nothing much the killer can really do. The killer has to camp, so I respect that. Like if I was a survivor and I got grabbed and I was healthy, there's not much the killer could do anyways, so why not? But like during the game, I saw it being an issue. Not gonna lie, sometimes they even save my mid games when I know for sure that if I don't camp or tunnel, I'll lose. Some hook grabs have saved me some games, I'm not gonna lie. It didn't save me all my games, or it definitely saved me some games. I guess it's good to leave it like that anyways. My only change would be for it to make it so that hook grabs could work during endgame, because I know that could clutch sometimes. I used brand new part by myself. It looks like it made some slight difference. Couldn't really tell because while I was using it by myself, maybe if I was with a group then I could see the difference. Maybe if everyone wants to bring one. Most likely I just couldn't tell because it definitely did get tweaked down from the update. But that's just how I'm feeling about this PTB as of right now. Probably gonna play some more Nicolas Cage and continue putting myself in the dying state. What's your favorite Nicolas Cage perk or anything from this update? Let me know down below. Love y'all. Take care. I'm gonna see y'all in the next one. And peace.